Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Fiery Friday's special Saturday edition.
Yes.
On Saturday afternoon, a beautiful afternoon in spring with the birds chirping and nice sun. And we always have our companion in the background, our beautiful fire, just ticking away in the background.
Ticking away. In case anyone watching this doesn't know us, it could happen.
Yeah.
I'm Kate and this is Sam, and we're the founders of Nature Philosophy. And yeah, we're excited to connect with you today and just slow down
Yes.
together. Hot times.
Yes, very hot times.
Very hot.
We're all living through them together. And yeah, like Kate said, this is an invitation to join us by the fire for a conversation where we can just relax, slow everything down, get away from the more agitating, nervous system disrupting stories that might be going on in life, and just come into the moment here. It's beautiful. And so it's great to share this space with you.
And already we've got some beautiful people showing up. Look, Steve's here.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Steve. And Peng. Hey, Peng. Starseed Watson. Welcome, guys.
Yay.
We also have our little daughter Ella's going to join us in a sec. We wanted to announce something first, but yeah, then Ella's going to come and connect with everybody.
Yeah.
What are we going to announce, Sam?
Well,
What's happening?
what's happening in the world?
Well, it's hot.
It's hot. It's a hot time. And
Whew.
yeah, we've said this before too.
Hi,
It's
Carmel.
been a hot time, we feel, in this country at least, and even globally, since the big bushfires came through in 2019 at the end of the year and just raged into just the beginning of 2020. And that was a very traumatic, shocking event, both for us as humans, but also the ecosystems and the animals and the whole land suffered a huge shock. And I think ever since then, we've kind of been on this hop from one sort of crisis to the next. And so it feels like we've been in hot times for a long time. Like we've had sustained stress.
Pressure.
Pressure.
Are you guys feeling pressured?
And then just in the recent times, we're obviously struggling with a very dominant shared experience that's going on. And so to feel like you're under pressure, to feel like your nervous systems is out of whack is kind of quite understandable at this stage. So yeah, it's big times and it's a big story that's way beyond the scope of our connection here. And we don't want it to be. We don't want it to be the focus of this, but just to recognise that we're all living through very interesting and unstable and uncertain times.
But times that Indigenous elders have predicted for a very long time. And I think Starseed's saying it's changing time, bring on the new earth. That's how we're feeling about it. So many people in our community that we're talking to are at the precipice of saying, well, I can't wait to make the changes I know I need to make. And a lot of people are actually using the energy of what's happening, the heat that is happening, and doing what needs to be done, just making changes, making it count. It's really, really good. But there is a remedy.
There is a remedy.
We've come up with a remedy.
Well, so nature connection in general is definitely a great anchor to have in unstable times. So there's so much we get from a sense of belonging and felt sense connection to land. Like, I think in the beginning, a lot of us understand it as an idea or a theory that we could read about, like connected to nature. But when you really do drop in and you build a relationship to the natural world, there's a real and tangible felt sense in your body that you never lose. You can kind of lose contact with, but retouch in when you need to, around feeling like you do belong and there is a place for you. And it feels good to be in connection with nature, and definitely calms your nervous system down when you need it.
It does, and it gives a real sense of internal rightness, what's right for you. And I feel like there's also a sense of confidence to act from that place of rightness. So we were going to do this later in the year anyway. We wanted to run the 7-day Sit Spot Challenge again this year. we were thinking later on,
Yeah.
but we, just because there's so much going on for so many of us, we thought we'd pull it forward. So we're going to run it and start it on the 11th of October, and we'd love to invite you to join us and anyone in your community. We're going to make it completely free. There will be an opportunity to have like an all access pass where you get to do some extra calls and keep the resources and all that sort of thing. But we wanted to make the program itself accessible to as many people as possible. We feel like we need to get our mojo back.
Yes,
We've
all
been-
of us. We do.
Everybody
Maybe
needs,
you do.
Yeah.
All of us need to reclaim it, take it back off all those different focal points that we're maybe losing it to, and bring it back in here, inside.
Mama needs her mojo back.
Yep.
Where's Mama's mojo going?
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
my goodness. Any mamas out there? Homeschooling and keeping it together under the circumstances, it's been hard. But yeah, we really, I think, want to elevate the energy and have a really good reason to come together as a community. And yeah, going out and sitting in nature and making a commitment to go home every day for 7 days. To actually, mojo, that's it, Katia. Hashtag Mama's Mojo is coming back. But yeah, like we can't think of any better way, and it'll be accessible to anyone, no matter where we are, because we'll run it online. So just wait to hear about that. There'll be a link eventually at the bottom of this video. And that's it.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do.
And on top of all those benefits, though, being a part of a community like a tribe that's sharing that 7-day experience is beneficial in and of itself. So there's all the benefits of going and doing your sit spot in nature and having all those resources around that as well, all the learnings and the holding that happens through that, but also just being a part of a group that's choosing to all reset their nervous systems at once and share that experience together is a powerful imprint and concentric ring on the world that we're in. It affects beyond even our immediate sphere. And so that's a powerful thing. And I think the most important thing around this, offering this program at this time, is it's about creating what we do want in the world, which is healthy, centered, nature-connected people that have a sense of what's right for them and are clear on their direction, rather than getting caught in maybe more negative stories and division and chaos that's going on at the moment. Because I think the chaos is with us for a while. I think there's going to be transformational unfolding and unfurling for quite a while, and so how we ride this wave is really up to us. And as a community, we want to pull together, grab you in together and take you on a 7-day journey if we can, and go on it together and see what happens at the end. If you've not done sit spots before, I think you'll be surprised at how simple but profound the effect can be.
It's like letting nature opening up a magical doorway, and life can literally never be the same. It can be, it's a game changer for a lot of people. You guys are so great. Katia's like, bring it on. And look, Steve's like, he's in for 7 days. That's so great.
Everyone's
guys.
welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's welcome.
Yep, no
That's
matter
it.
what.
No matter what. And you can do it on a balcony. God, you can do it anywhere. Amazing. Anyway, we'll, because we've got a gorgeous little person sitting on a log. She's doing a little sit spot, listening to her parents yabber on about everything. Should we get Ella to come over?
Ella should come over.
Come on, Ella.
Come and sit with us.
We've got a little thing for her to sit on here in the middle. This is our gorgeous little girl, Ella.
I have a little pottery stand so I can...
Yes, here she is.
Now, Ella's been on once before. We did a Fiery Fridays last year together, both Ella and I, when Kate was incapacitated, was injured and wasn't able to make it on. So she's...
Serious weaving injuries.
So
Yes,
she's not
very
completely new to the space.
It wasn't one.
Yeah, so it's been crazy for the little people too. We were just talking today about something that's been a significant change in our lives as a family. I'll just move that back a bit so I can get in. Around this, the restrictions and not being able to move around and not being able to travel across borders.
Look, it's Bronny.
Has made a big impact on us as a family. And Ella was just mentioning today that how she was missing visiting Maparu in Arnhem Land, our yearly trip up there.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too, because I think that not being able to go maybe gave some new perspective on what you actually got out of it.
Yeah.
And what were you missing about it? Like, what were you noticing?
I felt like almost like every year it was a retreat to go to almost like a whole new reality of living. It's very different up there.
It's very
and it's
different.
very refreshing to have a different experience and almost a whole other way of living, I feel like. And it really kind of, after you left and then you came back home, you felt, I don't know, everyday life felt a little more, you'd experience that, so you were just kind of happy to be here. And yeah.
I remember you saying you felt you got soft, and then when you went up there, you
it was kind of like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it is challenging. There's bits of it that are really challenging, but there's certain value, I think, in resilience in kids, and it's shown to be really an important aspect.
Well, that's right, and I think a lot of it is like a big part of those trips for us. There's the cultural aspect, so we're getting out of our ways of living and plugging ourselves into a completely different culture that has such a, like Indigenous Yolngu culture has the most phenomenal roots. It is just,
it's very, very different,
isn't it? Yeah,
definitely.
And blowing all the pipes out, so there's no getting up and doing what you've got to do.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of driving.
Yeah, definitely. Many, many hours.
We're all yearning for it.
Yeah.
But what about, I'm interested too, we had some parents recently, or one parent in particular actually, we just finished the Power Quest, and hello to anyone, the beautiful tribe that were with us in that journey. But they were asking at the end of it, well, how do you do this sort of stuff with kids? Like, how do you bring individual purpose and spirituality and this sense of nature connection into raising kids? And so we sort of thought maybe Ella would know more about that. I mean, we're hoping that we would be doing that, raising nature connected kids. And I do sort of notice that you're very sure of what's right for you.
Yeah. I definitely think I've been given a lot of I guess freedom to explore different, I guess, pathways, and then from there I kind of make a decision of what feels best or most right for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that's a really great way to let kids experience things. Yeah.
Totally. And I feel like we've tried our hardest, particularly because of all the visionary stuff, to whenever you say no, mummy and daddy, not that way, this way, to really have faith and trust in your inner guidance. And our role is more to foster you to be in relationship to that part of yourself.
Definitely.
Than to tell you what to do all the time.
I feel like a really good example of that is when all the different types of school, I guess I'd done, you could call.
We've done a few times.
And you guys always listened to what I thought I wanted to do. And I think for me, has ended up in a place that I'm pretty happy with. Going forward in the future like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very Indigenous, and it can be a bit counterintuitive in Western culture to let kids lead around their own decisions. And, you know, there's a lot of judgments around that you'll be raising certain, like, very entitled and
that's true.
self-righteous
kids, but it's not necessarily the case. It can build a lot of safety in, I think, for young people.
Oh, hey, Jasmine. Oh, Yasmin. Jasmine. Oh, my God. My brain's gone fuzzy. I also think that there's a real thing with trust. There's something to do with trust. There's some sort of sense there where when I was raised, when I said I really wanted to do something, that wasn't there wasn't a trust in that. And there's a different reality now coming forward with a lot of people with parenting, particularly if we're encouraging children now to trust their connection in nature, that in that there's a different inner rightness for kids. But then there's also lots of dangers in the world.
Yeah.
So it's difficult
It's
for
hard to
parents.
navigate. I think it's very complex.
Social media.
Yeah, totally.
She's only 11, so there can't be too much. We haven't got to the extra years.
But that's why we play with this. We play with some of these concepts at the Wild Village in terms of the Indigenous parenting challenge, we call it. And so we introduce some ideas around approaches and how to relate with kids that might be different to what we understand, but are definitely principles practiced in many Indigenous cultures, kind of universal principles, I reckon. And
Yeah,
so
they
there's an
are.
opportunity there at the village camp to just explore that as a parent in a supported environment, even just for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
The Wild Village.
I know, so sad. So, we had to postpone our September fully booked Wild Village, and it was very disappointing to have to do that because we felt that at this time it's exactly what we needed as a sort of community. It's exactly what families would
I felt desperate for it. I
really
wanted it.
benefit from, and
Yeah.
for us to just to get out in the bush and be doing what we do would have been so meaningful. So it's a real shame, but yeah.
There's a couple of really nice comments that have come through. Katya said, let kids lead in decisions for their future.
Yeah.
Totally. I think kids want
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
And I
yeah.
think the more you let kids have a voice in that, the more they understand
What that is.
and the more they're able to choose really carefully and skillfully what is right for them. The worst thing I think we could do is to assume they don't know and never give them the choice, and then
Definitely.
get them to a point where you know there's a coming of age, they're adults and they really don't understand their own voice or their own clarity and rightness and
Yeah,
direction.
It's really important to start doing that at a young age, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's when you're an adult, it's definitely there's a lot of things you need to navigate, and I feel like having your own voice is really important.
It's big, hey?
Yeah,
Big.
totally.
Is that probably one of the biggest things that, like, you as a young person or other friends, is that there's a lot of agitation around that? Like, if they don't have their voice
definitely
heard?
feel like that's something that me and my friends talk about. You know, wanting to with a lot of different things as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing for us to think we know what's going on, but it's a whole other thing to really deeply listen to young people.
Yeah.
And I think any parent that's watching this or that's interested in how do you bring, Wild Village concepts home, a lot of it I think can start with actually just making enough space in our busy lives to really listen to where our kids are at. And for that not to be something because when we're stressed out, we jump on them. Come on, we know, like, it's true. I've done my fair share of screaming at the kids until,
We go back to the default
We've
program.
done our
Yeah.
reactions and
There you go.
everything. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Carl's written a really nice thing. He said it's encouraging to hear a one-size-fits-all education has its costs, and organic growth of a fertile mind is the way to go.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way of thinking about it. That's why nature's so critical, though. When
Yeah.
kids get out into nature and they haven't got the boundaries around them that they usually do, and there's no fences, and they can actually be in a natural environment, there's a voice in nature that starts to speak to the child, and
Yeah.
there's an instinctual flow that starts to bounce between the two. And often kids then get caught in looking at nature and being quite entranced in water flowing or just sticks, just grab, what boys are like?
Yeah.
Little hunter, just
Yeah.
grabbing a stick and twirling it around, and that's enough.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a naturalness in that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's counterintuitive to think that would raise a very strong, resilient human, but all the studies are showing it does. It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Definitely.
We're still not sure when we can go back to Arnhem Land.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
hoping that at the very least we can make a family trip. We're not sure about taking anyone with us though at this
It's
point.
very uncertain
Yep.
right now.
But we're also next week, because we had to postpone the Wild Village, we're going to get together with the families for a couple of Zoom calls, and we'll do something like that. And then we'll probably put a call out just for anyone, like a community call, which we've been talking about for weeks now, and for anyone who's in our community to join. And we might talk about these topics a little bit more deeply. A lot of parents raising kids
Yeah.
in our community. So it could be a really beautiful thing to offer
Totally.
to get connected.
It's one of
Yeah.
the most important legacy experiences that you could do and do right and do well is actually raise connected, healthy, centred kids that are in connection to the land and can be good caretakers, future caretakers of this beautiful planet that we live on. So yeah, I feel like it's one of the most important roles, and that's why parents in our communities are saying, well, what are some ways that we can actually do this? Like,
Yeah.
bring this in, the benefits that these individual adults are finding, how can they share that experience with their kids in those age-appropriate ways that meet them at their developmental level? So it's a good thing.
I do think that's something, knowing as a parent when it is appropriate to... there are times when it would and wouldn't be appropriate
To give those freedoms.
to give
Yeah.
those
Of course.
freedoms,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
looking for ways to give as much freedom as you possibly can rather than pulling on the reins tight
Yeah.
and having this idea of less. I've always found that both you and Hunter, because we've got a little boy too who's
Yeah.
9, respond really, really well when you're given more,
Yeah.
but within boundaries.
yeah,
still.
totally.
Yeah, I think.
It's the balance, I think, of really doing that.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's interesting 'cause, unschooling. A lot of people talk about unschooling like that's it, no control. But it's actually not ever really the case. There's always a invisible moral code we raise our children in, and it's the same in Indigenous communities. There's an invisible law that's actually very, very strong that holds children quite tightly at the same time as kids being completely free, and then rites of passage come into it. And that's another thing that we just don't, we have rites of passage by default. First car, first job,
Yeah.
first boyfriend. The first time you drink too much alcohol, that's a
Yeah.
rites of passage, but constructed rites of passage where the child's actually coming from letting their child part of themselves die and birthing the more mature parts of themselves is something we need to stitch back in. That's something we've played around with too in the Wild Village.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boys do a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Finding our way back to those held rites of passage, because I think the problem is that we have them naturally as we move forward, but often all the ones I had were not witnessed by any adults. It was when the adults weren't around that we had the big rites of passage experiences that weren't crafted and held and
Lots of risk.
and witnessed. It was just so
Here we go. Steve saying, we've found that giving Samson heaps of freedom, he will often come to us to ask for boundaries.
yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that in Hunter too, and I think maybe girls and boys are different. But I've seen in Hunter that when he's given a huge amount of freedom, there's sometimes when he goes over his edge of, just being out with his mates for too long, or just being out and away from us for too long, he needs to then come back super, super close.
Yeah.
And he actually really go, I'm not allowed out today. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
He's
same
seeking
thing.
that as well, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's the security. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
it's interesting. It's an interesting dance. It's one of the hardest things in the world, being a kid and being a parent.
Yeah,
Although you do pretty well
Yeah,
being
it's
a kid.
pretty easy.
Do you like
for
being
me.
a kid?
Yes. I also am very grateful to grow up, with these opportunities to have freedom as well, because I do see, and I see for some of my friends, like, they don't always have that, and it's sad. but,
Different.
yeah, very different.
Different.
Mm.
Yeah. There you go, guys. That's our little girl. So nice. It's so nice here right now. The
Yeah.
sun's starting to
Yeah.
come through.
It's beautiful.
Oh, we're missing being able to sit with everyone.
I know, it's really, it feels very prolonged right now, and I'm sure you're feeling the same in some way on the other end there, that it's there's a certain missing of the human connections that we normally enjoy. We're definitely feeling that in lots of ways, so
Bronny. Bronny, you've come with us up to
Yeah.
Arnhem Land.
Yeah.
Aww. We were actually just looking at photos with you in it the other day, and Ella's like, "There's Bronny." Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, super wise for someone so young. Makes me want to tell your birth story.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Mum,
think. No, I
We
won't.
could
Okay.
No, it's too much.
Too
It's
much.
too much. She's like, "Shut up, Mum."
Yeah.
But she is. I know. She just came out that way. I don't think we can claim any not too much
We're
credit
all,
there.
yeah, but they're just like we're all
Unique.
unique souls, like, and we don't. It's funny. Sometimes parents feel like they possess their kids, or their kids are a
Yeah.
part of them, but they're
Indeed.
in. I don't feel that. I feel like we're caretakers for other souls and protectors,
Yeah.
so that they can also experience themselves as autonomous and sovereign beings. And so that's the job. Not that we own or possess our kids in any way.
Yeah.
It's so true and so powerful. One of the things that we learned early on from being up in Arnhem Land was that in the Yolngu culture, when a baby's born, they're seen as knowing they've got a wholeness already. They already know what's right for them.
Yeah.
And everybody's job is just to help love that child and look after them, so that when they say, "This is what I need," because they can't get it for themselves yet, everyone does everything they can to get that for
Yeah.
that child. And it was we had so many amazing experiences of having that given to our kids by the community up there.
They really trust in the kids. I think that's, really important at such a young age to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolute trust.
Yeah.
And like it's not dangerous to give the child what it says it wants.
Yeah.
It sends a strong message too to the kids that when they need something, they'll get their needs met, and that it's
Yeah.
safe. They're in good hands. So I
Yeah.
think
There's
it's
something to it.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, and it's just so different from Western culture. We're all under so much pressure to parent because we're often doing it alone or with one person or two people helping. That if we were to actually say yes to everything our kids said,
Be blown out.
we would, burn out, baby,
Yeah.
more than what we already get.
Yeah,
It can
totally.
seem like an impossible situation.
It's
sometimes.
hard because you're not held with other people around you, like up in Arnhem Land, I think, being a parent today. So it doesn't give you as much flexibility to do that.
Yeah,
which is-
absolutely. It's environmental. It is.
Yeah.
It's cultural, and environmental, and they're the themes that come up when we play with these ideas at the village camp. Is that we don't live in traditional cultures, so there's different challenges that we face, and not as much support structure a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Carl's written a really cool thing if anyone wants to check it out. Many moons ago, I like how you started that, I watched a doco called A Gathering of Men. It's about the global cultural experience that people's practice in rites of passage. And he explains we've lost a lot by its loss of practice.
Yeah,
Well,
totally. We have.
That's right, yeah. We wanted at one point to do a call. Maybe we should make that what the community call's about.
Yeah.
We're so roundabout, but we wanted to talk about rites of passage to anyone who's interested, because we've done rites of passage for the kids. We've just made it up, but just in our own family, and it's been really powerful.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly
Yes.
powerful. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, sometimes we're all waiting for it to come from somewhere else, when really we could do very, very meaningful things for our children. I'm sure that there'll be people in our community who are already doing this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they get all the support they need. Because when you go from a child to a teen and you don't have support to let the child part go, a lot of that child still carries through to the teen,
Yeah.
and then the child and the teen carry through to the adult, and
There's a lot of that going on.
there's a lot of that going.
There's a lot of
think
that.
we can see that,
We
yeah.
could solve a lot of problems if we just brought all this back. It's also more achievable than you think. So that's the message too about what
Yeah.
our experience
Yeah.
is, that it doesn't need to be complex and convoluted and come from some authority. You can inject a certain few ingredients into the experience, and you'll have a very successful rite of passage in your family that it has meaning and has a real significant impact on everyone.
Well, maybe we should just make that the topic of the
Maybe we should.
this amazing community call we keep talking about, but we never actually set a date.
Rites of passage.
We wanted to do rites of passage,
We did.
but then all the lockdown stuff
Yeah.
happened, and then I think we were so blown away.
Yeah.
We then were like, we didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And now it feels like
Yeah.
maybe we know what to say again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
dear. Oh, that's great. Carl said that's exactly what it's about. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Great.
Oh, it's so nice to connect with everyone. I can
Yeah.
see there's a few people we haven't seen on. Look, Mum's here.
Yeah.
Hey, Mum. Oh, hey, Lawrence.
Hey, Lawrence.
Good to see you. Belinda, Kevin, Gina. Welcome, everyone.
Yay.
So nice to see everybody that's online.
Yeah.
Thanks for, sharing a bit of space with us.
Yeah.
It is good. We can get together in this format, and it feels good, and it
Yeah.
feels connective, and it's important. It's important to stay connected
Oh,
in the best way we can.
but we're keen to
Get our mojo back.
We're going to get our mojo back,
Yeah.
and if you guys want to do it
Come
with
and
us,
join us.
7 day
Yeah.
6 spot challenge.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Free for anyone
It's
who wants
free.
to come. Let's just
Come.
rock it out.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Let's do it together.
Hashtag mojo.
Yeah.
Mama's
A
mojo.
positive concentric ring on the world right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Totally.
I reckon. And then we're definitely getting our dates together for next year too. So in terms of coming and joining us in person, that's what it's all about. We
Yeah.
love online. Like we've actually
Yeah.
got some amazing online journeys now.
Yeah.
And we love to sit fireside with you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to do the 7 day sit spot challenge, Ella?
Oh my god.
You're going to make a
Okay.
commitment
You
online?
That's
here
too
to do
much
it?
pressure.
Yeah. Just.
My little girl.
Anyway.
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks, Ella. You're
Your
a champion.
energy. Ella's always this positive, by the way.
I know.
Aren't you?
You are.
She's
Yeah,
super
I
positive.
don't feel like I was though in a few years ago, but I feel like I've tried to. From your influence.
Oh,
You
from
can
Mum.
be a little bit negative.
I can be a bit
sometimes.
negative.
Not trying to be offensive or anything,
Okay.
but you have your moments.
Okay.
There
I
you
have my
go.
moments. There you go, guys.
Let's talk
Everyone
about,
does.
Talk about my influence again.
Okay, yeah. So great.
She calls me the mummy mentor.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, hold your family near and dear. It's important. It's very
Oh, it's
even in these
everything.
sort of times, it makes you really get laser focused around what's important.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of positive benefits, byproducts of what's going on, and to find those silver linings in this transformational craziness would be really helpful, especially if you are starting to dip down into negativity, like Ella said I do a lot. But yeah,
You're forgiven.
Yeah.
It can be hard sometimes.
Yeah,
Can be.
totally.
can be
I've
hard
had
to
a
be
couple of weeks of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's definitely ups and downs.
Just want to look.
Yeah.
Julie's here. Julie Williams.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Julie.
Julie.
Hey.
Mwah.
Hey.
So good to see you.
yeah.
We're just about to finish. She's like, I made it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so great. Thanks so much, guys, for
Yeah.
joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the fire.
Fire, thanks, fire in the
Fire's
background.
just mellowing out. Can you
Yeah.
sort of see it? Yeah.
I'll
It's
step down a
nice.
bit.
Yeah.
Ah, big deep breaths.
Yeah.
Nice and calm.
Nice and
Yeah.
calm. We're all co-regulating together.
Yeah, we like
So
to co-regulate.
That's what we're doing here together by the fire. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming and joining us and being a part of it, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll see you again soon in some way, shape or form.
Yep.
Yep.
Online, digital Fire
Yep.
Fridays. Come and join the 7 Day Sit Spot Challenge, which starts on the
11th of October.
11th of October.
Well, we'll put it up on the Facebook, this Facebook thing next week, early next week. But hop on if you need to be on all our emails. Get on the email list.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't, just message us if you don't know
Yeah.
how to do that.
Get in contact. All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, Ella.
Bye.